Alright, let's dive into this story because it's one of those what moments that makes you rethink how people end up where they are. So, Ruffalo, that Ruffalo never actually planned to follow in his dad's footsteps into acting. Personally, I think this is where it gets interesting. Here's a guy who could have easily coasted on the family name, but instead, he's like, nah, I'm gonna figure out my own path. And what's even more fascinating is why he ended up acting at all. It wasn't some grand childhood dream, or even a nudge from his famous dad. It was the pandemic. Seriously. He was studying fashion design, and then COVID hits, and suddenly he's like, what now? I mean, how many of us can relate to that moment of existential panic? But here's where it gets deep. He didn't just pivot because he was bored or needed a job. He saw how acting brought his dad joy, and that's what sparked his curiosity. That's a detail I find fascinating. It wasn't about fame or money. It was about understanding what made someone he loved happy. And that, to me, says a lot about who he is as a person. Now, let's talk about his approach to acting. Instead of rushing into auditions, he went all in on studying the craft. Like, I'm gonna hit every conservatory in sight kind of dedication. What many people don't realize is how rare that is, especially when you've got a famous last name. It would have been so easy for him to skip the hard work, but he didn't. And here's the kicker. He didn't even start auditioning until his dad gave him the green light, after seeing him perform. That's a level of humility and respect for the craft that's honestly refreshing. It's like he's saying, I'm not just here because of my name, I'm here because I've put in the work. But what really stands out to me is his perspective on his childhood. Growing up on a farm in upstate New York, he had no clue his dad's job was a big deal. Like, he thought his dad was just a regular guy until someone asked for a Hulk Funko Pop autograph. Can you imagine? I love this because it flips the script on the whole Hollywood kid narrative. He wasn't raised in the spotlight, he was raised in reality. And I think that's given him a groundedness that's rare in this industry. It's like he's carrying this quiet confidence that comes from knowing who he is outside of the fame. Now, let's talk about his projects, because they are not just your typical first gig roles. He's in Sterling Point and Nimrods, and what's cool is he's working with other newcomers. This isn't just a job for him, it's a community. He's collaborating with people who are all figuring it out together, and that's special. It's like they are all in this weird, exciting phase of are we doing this right, and that energy. It's contagious. I think that's why his work feels so authentic. He's not just acting, he's connecting. But here's the thing that really got me thinking, his relationship with his dad's legacy. He's got this imposter syndrome, which is so relatable, but it's amplified because his dad's Mark Ruffalo. Like, talk about big shoes to fill. But what I admire is how he's handling it. He's not trying to be his dad, he's trying to be himself. And that's a huge difference. He's not running from the name, but he's also not leaning on it. He's carving his own path, and that's what makes this story so compelling. Lastly, let's talk about his creative vision. His inter-period pieces, dramas, indie projects, basically anything that challenges him. But what's really interesting is his desire to use his platform to lift up smaller productions. That's not just a career move, that's a mission. It's like he's saying, I'm here to make art, not just money. And honestly, that's the kind of mindset the industry needs more of. So, here's my closing thought. Ruffalo's journey isn't just about becoming an actor, it's about becoming himself. He's taking the road less traveled, and that's what makes his story so inspiring. It's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. And personally, I can't wait to see where he goes next. What about you? Does his story make you rethink how you approach your own path? Let me know in the comments.